Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Welcome back to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I am thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 13, I believe, which is very exciting. By now, if you are listening to these as they come out, if you're listening in order, you will have heard the very first guest episode of the podcast last week, which I'm still buzzing about. It was amazing. I had the best time. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it as much as I had enjoyed recording it and editing it and all the other stuff. Like, even editing it back was just like enjoying it all over again. It was so much fun. If you've listened to it, you'll know by now that Maisie is a friend outside of weddings as well. So we didn't have to break the ice. There was no awkward tension or questions. We just dove straight into just having a great time. And it was a great episode talking about first dances and all of that good stuff. So yeah, if you haven't listened to that yet, I definitely recommend that you do. But yeah, this is episode 13. Fun fact, I have already recorded this one, but the audio was not up to scratch. It was okay. You could hear things, but it just sounded a bit off, a little bit echoey. And I'm really hoping that's not going to be the case with this one again, because it wasn't up to my standards. You get the best from me, okay? Listen to the quality control and the lengths I'm going to by re-recording this episode just to give you a good service. I do hope you're grateful. So this is episode 13. Today we are talking all about rain on a wedding day. Okay. Number 13, episode 13, rain on a wedding day. Both typically considered unlucky things. And for me, I'm going to say straight off the bat, I don't see either of those things that way. Don't consider them to be unlucky. I actually consider those to be very lucky and fruitful things. So that's what this episode is going to be talking about. We're going to dive straight in. If you are enjoying the podcast and you haven't yet gone and given us a review, then I do recommend that you go and do that, please. I'd be very, very grateful. Come and join our Facebook group. The link's in the show notes. If you need extra wedding planning help, you can come find me. I'm actually a wedding planner. I know, surprise. So if you need some help with your wedding, then do come and reach out. I've had some lovely people reach out and inquire already from the podcast. And they're like, I've listened to the episodes and I need some extra help. And honestly, that truly warms my heart. I'm so chuffed by that you would firstly listen to the podcast and listen to me ramble on week by week, because I know sometimes I ramble. I know sometimes I go off on a tangent. I'm very aware that you would go and listen to that and then still decide that you'd quite like to work with me. Truly, I'm honoured. Very honoured. But yeah, all of the links for anything, if you're looking for anything, where to find me on Instagram, how to get in touch, how to send in a story, all of that stuff is in the show notes. So there's my little quick ramble before we get into things. And let's go. So the first thing that I feel like I need to say is that, and this isn't news to anybody. This won't be like, oh my gosh, surprise, really. But the UK weather is brutal. Bless her. She doesn't know what she's doing from one minute to the next. She's all over the place. It's, even in summer, it does tend, if it rains, and it does tend to quite a lot, it does tend to rain in showers, which is not quite so bad. So, it's not going to rain for the entire day, and you might still be able to get some photos outside if that's, what you're hoping for from your wedding day. But, the UK weathers, she's a lot. She's a lot. We're well known for not getting hot summers and, bright sunny days very often, which is why the UK tends to go absolutely mental whenever we get a shred of sunshine coming through. And the sun has just peeked through the clouds as I was literally just saying that. It's like she knows. She's really trying, bless her, but It's very cloudy today. There's no sun coming through, unfortunately. But my first point here today really is that reminder that we cannot control the weather, especially in the UK. Like, you just don't know what's coming. We can't control the weather anytime, but you can't even predict it or plan it. If you're having a wedding in the UK, you kind of just get what you're given. And, I hear people every single time they are planning a wedding and it's getting closer to the big day, they are checking the weather apps multiple times a day, every single day, and they're saying, oh, now it looks like it might be this many degrees. Oh, now it looks like it might be cloudy. Oh, now it looks like it might rain. I get it. I've even had couples that they're like, we're going to do a rain dance to, like, scare the rain away, like, before the wedding day. They're just going to draw in all of the hot weather and the sun and all the good stuff. Whatever you need to do. I'm all for manifesting and all for bringing in good vibes and good energy to just try and encourage some good British weather. But with that being said, we cannot guarantee it and we cannot control it, which is why we're going to talk today about having some measures in place and how to handle things and how to prepare for different things so that whatever comes our way, we are prepared for it. Okay? But my second point today, aside from understanding that fact that we can't control the weather, the second thing that I want to talk to you about is having a plan B. And having a plan B, having a second plan, having something in place as a backup is so, so, so important. And so many people don't want to do it because they're like, no, this is what we're going to do. And this is how it's going to go. It's almost like, and I'm not going to try and compare this directly in any sense, but you'll understand my comparison in a minute. If you are having a baby, okay, maybe the men won't understand this part. If you are pregnant and you're having a child, and when they say, oh, are you putting together a birth plan? And some parents to be will be like, yep, this is the plan. This is what we want to happen. We want this to happen in this instance, and then this, and then this, and then this. And we want the room to feel like this. And this is the kind of things we want to be offered. You've got a plan in place for how you want your birth to go. And 10 times out of 10, they will likely be saying to you, okay, but you need a plan B because it might not happen. It's very unlikely that it's going to go exactly the way you want it to. So my comparison is exactly this. When it comes to weather on your wedding day, the same rules apply. You can have a plan. Your plan A is your wedding day, how you're planning everything, all the things you're pulling in, all the ways of the logistics and how if you want everything to go on the day. But you need that plan B. You need something in case something comes in, throws all of that up in the air and says, no, you're not having an outside ceremony. We've got a heavy, heavy storm coming in. And suddenly plan A is out the window and you need a backup plan. And a lot of the time, you will hear people saying, nurses and midwives and things, coming back to the idea of this birth plan, they will say, do not hold on too tightly to the idea of this birth plan, because if you get your heart set on this and you're so kind of tightly wound around this one plan and that it's exactly going to go this way, you're likely going to end up disappointed. Something is going to have to change. Something's going to have to give. We need some flexibility here. And the exact same applies for weddings. So you need to have a plan. I'll always tell you to have a plan. Obviously, why would I be a planner if I didn't? I will be encouraging a plan for what's going to happen on the day. How are we going to move from this part to this part to this part? What's happening? I'm helping you to pull in those plans and to bring all of these ideas together. But at the same time, through our working together, I'm always asking, what's the backup? If we can't do this, what's happening? What next? Where do we go from here? And I'll be honest with you, a lot of my clients hate it. They're like, I actually really don't want to think about, if we can't have our ceremony outside because we've got our heart set on it. I totally understand that. I totally get it. But at the same time, I would be doing you a disservice as your planner to not be saying, unfortunately, I'm going to have to demand one from you. Okay. Otherwise, I will have to decide on my own backup plan, and you might not like that. You might not like those choices. So having a backup plan is super, super important. And more important than that, or equal importance, I guess, but it's very important. You need to love your plan B just as much as you love plan A. And that's a big ask. I know it is, particularly if you're having an outside ceremony and you've got a beautiful setup, you've got a lovely fields and fields around you, and there's a view and it's gorgeous, and you've got this lovely pergola that you're going to stand under and get married, and there's flowers and it's beautiful, and you've got this beautiful vision in your head of how your ceremony is going to go. I totally get it. And then you've got me in your ear going, yeah, but what if you can't do that? Okay. Firstly, let me just say I will never say it like that. Okay, I'm always very kind. It's always very gentle. It's always a gentle nudge in the right direction. But I will always be saying, okay, what happens if we can't do that? If we have to have the ceremony inside, where is that going to happen? And where are the decorations going to take place? Where do you want to be standing? How do you want that to go? Because I want to make sure that if that happens, that, the weather doesn't go our way and things have to change, I want to make sure that I know exactly how you want things to go in that instance. And it's really important to me, and it should be important to you as well, to make sure that you're just as happy with that outcome. I know it's hard. I know, because we get our hearts attached to the pressure and the emotions of this one really important day. And if it doesn't go exactly as we want it to do, then the whole thing's just ruined. That's not true, firstly. Your wedding day is what you make it. Your wedding day and how perfect it is and how amazing it is what you decide of it. It's how you decide it is. That is the long and the short of it. And this kind of leads me on really nicely into my next point, which is mindset. Your mindset is everything when it comes to your wedding day. Okay. People get attached to the idea of having a sunny wedding day. And I feel like that's the one thing that you can't get attached to. Because, like I've said, we can't control what weather's going to come our way. If you luck out and you get the most amazing, warm, sunny day for your wedding day, amazing. That's a bonus. But we can't attach our entire wedding day and all of its plans onto it's going to be, and this is what's going to happen X, Y, Z. And if it doesn't happen, then the day is ruined. I can't stop you from thinking that way, but you will be doing yourself a disservice by thinking that way. And you will only be hurting yourself and leading yourself up to your own disappointment if you think that way. You're better off thinking of, whatever happens, happens. Ideally, we'll do this. If not, here's our plan B. And then if everything goes the way you want it to go, your expectations will have been exceeded and everything will be amazing. But if you have to have your ceremony inside, for example, or you have to move some things around because of the weather and the rain, you're not then going to think the whole day's not gone as we planned. You're still going to have this amazing day planned, and you're going to feel chuffed and so excited and happy with it because it's gone how you planned it. And you haven't had to last minute scramble around and find loads of different plans. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense here. You will have the very best day of your life on your wedding day. It will be the most amazing day if you decide right here and now that it already is. No matter what happens. I don't think it's sensible. I don't think it's logical. I don't think it doesn't make any sense to me to let the weather dictate how amazing your wedding day is. Something that's so out of our control as that, you're going to let that dictate whether you get an amazing wedding day, whether your wedding day is the day of your dreams. I just don't believe we should put the power in the hands of the weather. Do you know what I mean? The weather's going to do its own sweet thing, fine. But there is no way on this earth that I'm going to give the rain the power to ruin my wedding day. Are you kidding me? Come on, we're better than that. We're better than that, guys. Think positive thoughts. Hopefully, if you're wanting a nice outdoor ceremony, then you're going to up your chances by not having a winter wedding. Sure, you're going to up your chances by doing it spring, summer, planning ahead for the months of the year in England that are usually sunnier and usually dry. But even then, you can't guarantee it. And I think your mindset is going to have the power to create this feeling, create the wedding day of your dreams. Your mind and the way that you look at things. I'm so passionate about this. I'm so passionate about having a positive mindset and looking on everything with the rose-tinted goggles. Whatever's happening, silver lining in everything. I'm always looking for that silver lining because nothing is ever 100% doom and gloom and miserable, okay? If something goes wrong on your wedding day, and it will, like I say all the time, it could be something minimal, like you've misplaced something for 20 minutes and then it gets found and all is well. It could be something like I've had things before where 2 days before the wedding, one of the mirror, the glass mirror tables that you get, one of those broke at the venue and they couldn't get another one in time. So it was like, how do we navigate this? Do we, bring all the tables down to something else, like, we can put tablecloths over all of them. And they were like, we really didn't want tablecloths, we wanted the glass tables. So then it was a case of, okay, well, we can do less tables, but we've now got to like put extra people on the tables, but we can maneuver it, we can make it work. Fine. Like something like that could go wrong on your wedding day. Something minimal could go wrong on your wedding day. The weather could go wrong on your wedding day. All of these things are going to mean that your day has not gone super smoothly and super perfectly. But most of the time, it's how you handle those situations and it's how you look at those situations that's going to affect how you feel when you wake up the day after, day one of being married. You wake up. How are you looking back on that day? Are you looking back and thinking, for goodness sake, like that was just the worst? It rained when we wanted to do this and we had to do this, that, and the other, and we had to move this and we had to change that around. Well, of course, then you're not going to think that was the best day of your life because you're being miserable about it. Okay. But if you wake up and you think, oh my God, how annoying was it that it rained? But at least we got to go out and get some pictures in the rain. I'm so glad that all of our guests were happy to just come out and spend 20 minutes just out in the rain. We got soaking wet through, but the pictures are going to be amazing. I can't wait to see those. How good was that? Like, oh, such a shame that we couldn't have our ceremony outside, but I'm so glad that we got to go out in in the pockets of sunshine in between. I can't wait to see the pictures that we've got taken outside. Look at it with like a better view. Look at it with that positive light, because it's really important. And ultimately, even more importantly than just the way you and your partner are talking about things and your mindset about it, negativity is contagious. It's truly an infection that spreads so quickly. If on your wedding day it rains, okay, so be it. What we will be, laugh it off, smile, get out in the rain, enjoy it. Don't let it ruin your day. Don't let it have that power. If you come out, it's raining, you've got a face like thunder, excuse the pun. You are miserable, you're agitated, you're grumpy. Both you and your partner are just bad vibes, okay? Miserable. Even if you're just sad and gloomy and a bit teary, I get it, it's upsetting. But what's going to happen if you do that is your guests are going to pick up on that, okay? Your guests are going to see you miserable, angry, grumpy, disheartened, defeated, deflated, all of those things, whatever it is, whatever energy you bring out into the space, and they're going to say, oh, it's that kind of day, is it? Cool. And they're going to join in. You will not get people up on the dance floor, having the best time, bringing the high energy, bringing the vibes that you want if you are not leading the way with that on your wedding day. It's your wedding day. You and your partner are guiding everybody else with the energy that you want them to bring. You are in control of the energy. So you could be having the worst day. Nothing could have gone to plan. Everything could have had to be changed around. Everything from plan B, we're doing it. Nothing from the original plans being included, okay? That's worst case scenario. But if you come out high energy, excited, you get to get married today. This is your marriage. Like, how exciting, all of the time and effort. If you've been planning a wedding for 2 years and it gets to it and it rains and you think, oh, well, I'm just going to be miserable today, then I'm going to be upset. Well, then what a waste, firstly, of your time, energy, and your money that you're not even going to try and slap on a smile for your wedding day. Don't be those people. Don't be those people. And there are people out there that will do that. And we can't help those people. Okay. There's not much more I can do aside from encouraging you to just be grateful and excited. Like the goal, what's the goal here? You got proposed to, you got engaged, the end goal was to get married. So if you're married, then it's not a failure. But when you get so attached to this vision of how things should look in your head, it can be really hard to get rid of that. And I totally get it. But my encouragement here for you is to just remind you, bring the positivity, look at all the positives in the situation. It's still your wedding day. All of your loved ones are here to celebrate with you. Give them a good reason to celebrate, Not to mention that rainy wedding pictures, ask any photographer, and I know they will agree with me, they are always stunning. They never look terrible, ever. So if you've had your ceremony, you've had some nice pictures where you're looking pristine and perfect, but it's still raining, get out there. Get out there. You can always dry off again, Get out there in the rain, get some pictures done. They will look incredible. I guarantee it. And your photographer will know what to do. You'll just have to give them the word and off they go. They will know exactly what to do and they will look amazing. And you'll be able to look back on that day and say, actually, the rain made the wedding day. The rain really added that magic, and we wouldn't have these pictures if it wasn't for that. We wouldn't have this gorgeous picture of us stood in the rain in our perfect wedding venue on our wedding day if it didn't rain. We wouldn't have these pictures, and that's magic. Symbolically, rain is supposed to, represent good luck. I know we typically look at it and think bad luck, that's negative and we don't want the rain, but it's supposed to symbolize good luck having rain on your wedding day. You know, historically. So look at it in that light and remind yourself that actually this is a really, really great message for our future marriage and for the day. This is really exciting. Again, it's that positive energy, the positive messaging, the good mindset, all of that stuff. And like I've mentioned briefly already, dance out in the rain. Get out there, invite your guests out there too. Let your photographer and videographers go wild enjoying it, because that will make for some absolutely cracking content and it's going to look amazing. And just let loose, relax. Like, you can't do anything about it now. It's already raining. So just enjoy it, Don't worry about the dress getting dirty, because you're never going to wear it again anyway, unless you've bought a short one or something you could go change into. And this is why second outfit can be great. If you think it's going to rain on your wedding day, get a second outfit. You can trash the first one in the rain, get yourself some really gorgeous pictures outside, and then you can go and get changed and you're dry and you're sorted. If you need to keep your hair and makeup artist on for a bit longer in the day so they can top you up, think about things like that, because all of these things, when you're planning for, the worst to happen, say, if you're planning and saying it's probably going to rain, so let me get a second outfit, let me get a second pair of shoes, let's bring umbrellas, let's keep the hair and makeup artist on for like an hour or two extra so that we can get out in the rain, take some nice pictures, and then if needs be, she can top up my hair, dry me off, top up the makeup, all of those things. Think about things. If you think, yeah, it's probably going to rain, and you're getting closer to the day, start trying to put those things in place. It's going to make a huge difference. It's really, really important to be prepared for anything that happens. Okay. So there are some ways that you can prepare for rain on your wedding day. You can just have a few things in place that are going to make your life easier if it does rain. And it's not going to be a total, like, you have to pay for loads of extra things on backup. It's not that kind of thing. There's just few things you can do that can make life a bit easier as we're going through that process. So, as I've just mentioned, backup outfits are amazing. So if you do decide you want to go out and frolic in the rain, for you and your partner, both get a backup outfit. If you don't need to use it, you don't need to use it. I encourage you to choose something that's not super wedding-y, that you could wear again. If you want it to be white, if you still want another white dress, then pick something else that maybe you would wear again and change into that. It doesn't have to be another wedding dress. It could be something that you're changing into. It's you can hold off getting out in the rain until, late in the evening, end of the day. Maybe you've had your meal, it's still raining, the sun's going down, you're thinking, let's just get out there. We've got spare outfits. Let's get out there. Let's enjoy it. Let's make the most of the situation that the world has given us today, and let's enjoy it. And that can be a really good incentive. Then you're not stressing and thinking, oh, I'm going to be cold and wet and damp all night because I don't have anything else. You've planned ahead and you do have a backup outfit that you could wear if you need to. Clear umbrellas are always a necessity as well. If you are planning on getting outside and getting some pictures done, clear umbrellas, because they let the light through. Your photographers will love you for that. Don't bring a big, dark, black, thick umbrella that's going to let no light through, because your photographer's going to be like, ugh. Oh, why did you do that? Bring a nice clear one and just have it on standby for if you need to go and take some pictures, or it does rain, or maybe you need to get from one part of the venue to the other and a bit of it's outside and you don't want to get your hair damaged. You can pick up your dress and you can change your shoes and all that stuff. What about your hair? Umbrella. Clear umbrella. Get yourself a few of those. You can also get umbrellas for your guests if you're worried that it might start raining in the ceremony. Then people can just pop up an umbrella and you can kind of coast your way through the last bit of the ceremony. If it's that kind of day, when the showers are just so on and off, and it's like 2 minutes here, 30 seconds there, and you don't want to cut off your whole outdoor ceremony for it, but you want to keep people comfortable, think about what you could give them for an outdoor ceremony. You could even, and this will totally depend on the vibe of your day, totally depend on the theme you've gone for, but what about those like disposable raincoats, like the little jackets? Is that your vibe? Like, are you having an outdoor festival fun kind of vibe? Could you have some of those under the seats for the ceremony and just be like, hey guys, pop those on because we're not going anywhere. Like, we're carrying on in the rain. Some people want to carry on in the rain. Some people would love to have a rainy wedding day vibe. In which case, then you're probably not listening to this episode anyway, because you're not concerned. There are no worries for you about whether it's going to rain on your wedding day. But if that's your vibe and you can make it work, then, have a basket full of ponchos that people can just chuck on. There's kind of clear raincoats. You could get colourful ones if you've gone for a really bright wedding day. Make them in your colour scheme. Make it fun. Make it enjoyable. Make it something that you are actively taking control over in a situation that is out of your control, because that always makes us feel better. I know that for a fact. Now, you also want to be prepared for the rest of your venue and the rest of your suppliers. So if you are pushing to keep things outside and you are able to do that, your venue will allow you to do that. Think about, have you got live musicians? Have you got DJ outside? Are they protected? Have you got other things outside, decor and styling, that needs to be protected if it rains? Think about having shelters put up for those. Think about putting things under tents instead, like not like a camping tent, but like a teepee tent. Maybe you're having an outside marquee thing. Put things in there, just thinking things through, making sure that you're kind of thinking of everything. And if this happens, what do we do? And this is why I say that having a plan B is so important. You don't have to actively put everything in place, but it's knowing what do we do in those situations. And if you're handing over your plans to your venue, if you're handing it over to a wedding coordinator, whoever you're handing it over to, you can say, here's the rainy weather plan. Here's our plan B. If we need to move things inside, this is where I want this to go. This is where this goes. This is how this gets protected from the rain. Yada, yada, yada. All that stuff, Think things through. All of this to say that sometimes plans do change, and sometimes we just don't have the control over that. Sometimes we just need to roll with the punches. We just need to see where we end up. And if it rains, it rains. So be it. But there are a few things you can do to adjust smoothly when plans change and, navigate through that process of a rainy wedding day that perhaps you weren't expecting. One of the top things I would recommend is to not leave it too last minute on the day to decide on that ceremony change. So if you're planning an outside ceremony and it looks like it might rain, or it is raining, but you're hoping that it will stop, all of that kind of stuff, don't leave it, as tempting as it is. I totally get it. Don't leave it too last minute to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Because remember that whilst you're getting ready in the morning and you're being pampered and, you're eating and drinking and enjoying your morning, people are actively working to set up these things for you. And that takes hours. So you can't push things back too much, because then you're going to risk the rest of your day not going to plan because things are behind and things didn't look the way you wanted them to look because people didn't have time to set them up properly. If you give people less time to do things, your quality of what you're getting is going to be diminished again and again and again. And we don't want that. So give people enough notice if you want to switch things around. Sometimes your venue will take ownership of that for you and they'll say, we can't do this outside. Sorry, we're doing it inside. We're doing the wet weather plan. Sometimes that's a choice they make as a venue. Sometimes it's a health and safety thing, depending on how bad the rain is. They can't, strong winds and things like that. It's not even just, it's just bad weather in general, isn't it? If it's snow and it's too cold and they can't get out there, certain things are going to impact whether you can have it outside. So sometimes your venue will decide for you and they'll say, this is what's happening. And you kind of just have to go with that, which is why I say, make sure you love that plan B just as much, because if you don't and somebody's now telling you this is what's happening now, sorry, then you're going to be raging. Of course you are. You're going to be gutted. But if someone comes and says, this is what we're going to do now, plan B, you can go, oh, okay, amazing. Thanks so much for letting me know. And you can take it on the chin and you can still be excited about it, still be looking forward to it, all of that stuff. You're not going to let it ruin your day. Okay? If nothing else in this episode, I will get this through to you. Do not let the rain ruin your wedding day. Enjoy it, please. Please enjoy it. Another thing you want to do if you're preparing and wanting things to go smoothly is to have people help you and make sure they all know the backup plan. So if you've got people on the day that are doing, let your suppliers know, let everybody know what this is in this instance. And if you've got people from your wedding party or other people that are helping and doing things and running around, make sure they know. Be clear with people. Be clear and direct when you are communicating any changes. The last thing you want when you're starting to change things last minute on the day is miscommunications and details being missed and all of that important stuff. Be really, really clear. Doesn't have to be rude, but it's just a case of saying, this is exactly how it needs to go. Don't worry about, sometimes we don't say things the way we want to say them because we're worried about upsetting people or coming across as too direct and too blunt and all those things. respectfully, your wedding day is probably the one day you can do that. Like I say, you don't have to be rude, but it's just a case of saying, this is exactly how I want it done. Do you understand? Do I need to go over it again? Do you have any questions about that? Don't be afraid to make sure that people truly understand exactly how you want your plan B to go, because it's still your wedding day and it's still important. Although we can't control the weather, although these things are kind of changing and making us feel out of control, there are ways that we can take back that control and help ourselves to feel calm in that situation. I totally understand how important your wedding day is to you in general, let alone when things are changing and you're trying to relax and enjoy the process and keep sane and kind of calm during that. It's tough. It's really, really tough, particularly because you as a couple are going to be the people that people have questions for. Your suppliers are coming to you for questions like that. Ideally, you'll be handing all of this off to your venue, or, the event planner's there, or you've got a coordinator, or you've got a planner that you can hand it all over to and say, this is our plan. If we need to change it, please make sure it happens. Otherwise, please don't bother us. We don't want to know. Just tell us what's happening so that we can enjoy it. Because the last thing you want to do on the day is be answering a million questions from people that all want your attention. Because if one person sees, oh, someone's asking them a question, it's like it attracts loads of other people because they think, oh, I'll just jump in there quick and ask a question. And then before you know it, you spend your wedding morning answering loads of questions from people that should actually be speaking to someone else entirely, or should just be using the plan that you've already made. So think about things like that, plan ahead for things like that. Another thing you can, if you're really worried about timings and wanting to have that flexibility to maybe hold things off for 20 minutes, push things back by 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, can we speed things up? A really good way to do that is to have a celebrant-led ceremony. Celebrant-led ceremonies allow for more flexibility because they're not registrar-led ceremonies. Because registrar-led ceremonies are the legal ceremony, you have people turning up, they might have more than one wedding in a day, and they've got their time, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whenever it is, they're there. It has to happen when it has to happen. They will not wait more than like 5 minutes. And then they get angry that they're being kept waiting because they've got all of the spiel to get through, all of the legal stuff. They've got to get through it. They've got timings, they've got a process to get through, and then they are usually on their way to another wedding, if you're not the last one. So they're not really willing to wait. They're not really willing to be flexible. They're not really willing to work with you and say, oh, it's raining. It's supposed to stop in 10 minutes though. Can we hold off for 20 minutes just so we can get everything sorted and still have our ceremony outside? They're not likely going to do that. But a celebrant-led ceremony, if you're speaking to them before and saying, in the instance that it rains, can we hold off for 10 minutes? Then yeah, they're probably going to say yes. Celebrants won't book in more than one wedding a day. And if they do, then I would question their commitment to, focusing on you as the couple for that one wedding day, because it's a lot of effort and it's a really personalized ceremony that a celebrant offers. It's really different. It's really bespoke. If they're running from here, there, and everywhere to do more than one wedding in a day, I personally would be concerned by that. But I'm not here to judge someone else's business processes, but that's one thing that you could consider if you want a bit more flexibility. Hire a celebrant, chat to them beforehand, and just say, in this instance, how do you feel about this? And if they're a really friendly one and they're not rushing off to go anywhere else, they will likely say, yeah, absolutely fine. Just let me know on the day. So I've given you a bit of a rundown there on rainy wedding days, how to handle them, how to plan for them, how to make the most of them, how to prepare in advance, all of that stuff. So let's do a quick little roundup and then we can finish the episode. Preparing for rain on your wedding day. Firstly, never assume that it's impossible for it to rain on your wedding day. This is the UK. She has a mind of its own. The UK weather is unruly sometimes, and she is not going to do as she's told. So you need a plan B, and you need to love plan B as much as you love plan A. Because if you do end up needing to use plan B, the last thing that I want you to feel is disappointed or disheartened that you didn't get the wedding of your dreams. So this is all about compromise. This is all about your mindset, looking at things with a positive light. And rain or not, your mindset is going to determine whether it ruins your wedding day or not. Your mindset and the way that you look at things is going to determine if you have the day of your dreams, or if you have a day that you spent so much time and energy planning and putting love and time and money into, just for it to rain and then get ruined. But if you're married at the end of it, it's not ruined, okay? It's your wedding day. Be positive. Look at things with an excellent positive mindset, and you will still have the day of your dreams. Rainy wedding day pictures are always stunning, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Name me a photographer in the comments that wants to tell me that rainy day wedding pictures are ugly. I don't think I'll find any. They are always stunning. If you want to plan ahead, be prepared with clear umbrellas that you can use for your pictures. They let all the light in and they are gorgeous. They're perfect for that situation. Get prepared with a backup outfit if you need to, so that then you've got the freedom to go and frolic outside in the rain, come back in, get changed, dry off, and still be comfortable for the rest of the night. Don't leave it too last minute to change your plans around, even though it's a backup plan and the weather still might change again and it could be gorgeous after you've changed everything around. Your staff and everybody that planning and pulling together your day still needs enough time to set up the things in the way that you want them set up. And make sure that all your suppliers know what the plan B is and what's going to happen in that worst case scenario and how are they going to navigate that. Be clear, be direct, make sure that everybody understands ahead of time. Now, I want to know, are you worried about rain on your wedding day? Let's talk about it. Has this episode helped? Do you feel more equipped now to walk through those things? How are you feeling about it? I want to know. Let me know in the comments on my Instagram or hop over to the Facebook group and we can talk about it there. But hopefully this has got you feeling just a little bit better about the fact that it could rain on your wedding day and that it's not the end of the world. You can still have the most incredible day, the most amazing day, and actually it's seen as good luck. So there is that. As always, thank you so much for listening. I am always super, super grateful. If there is anything that you want me to talk about on the podcast, any questions you have, any stories you want to share, any topics that you think would be helpful for me to walk through and break down, then you can always let me know. Send me a DM, send me an email, ask me in the Facebook group, wherever you want. All of the information is in the show notes below. As I mentioned at the start, if you fancy giving us a review, I'd be so, so grateful. And if you need any extra help planning your wedding or you need someone to come and handle your rainy wedding plan on the wedding day, then you can reach out to me at Elegance Unlimited as well. And I'd be happy to help. So until next time, thank you so, so much for listening. We'll speak next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind-the-scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!